So I might have pissed off a lot of Americans because of my last video. So what better thing can I do now but to piss off a whole another nationality? The Brits. You know, I really don't know what to think of the Brits. My country was one of these 65 countries colonized by the good old British Empire, which at one point ruled about a quarter of the entire world, which as far as I know, people from the UK tend to be quite ignorant about, as the whole education system rarely mentions the whole Rule Britannia thing. At least that's what my Irish friends tell me. Let me know down below if that's true if you are from the UK. One thing that the British school history does focus on very dearly is the British monarchy, from William the Conqueror to Elizabeth to this guy. So basically over 1,000 years of monarchy if you also count the good old Anglo-Saxons. This video won't be about the history of the British monarchy, there's 100 other videos that you can see, but rather a comment on the relationship between the monarchy and its people, which swings wildly from monarch to monarch, with the late Queen Elizabeth seen as this cultural icon as she is totally baked into the modern British identity.
I always keep one for emergencies.
So do I. I keep mine in here.
A lot of monarchists will use the fact that she joined the army and fought against the Nazis, and her father, George VI, also led the nation through turmoil, which is all very admirable, but the point they conveniently miss out is that other allied countries also had very admirable figures who led their nations through the war against the Nazis, and surprise surprise, they did not come from a line of hereditary monarchy with a God-given right to rule over the peasants or the commoners, right? Churchill, a lot of things to criticize the guy for, but not a monarch. Charles de Gaulle, not a monarch. FDR, not a monarch. Stalin, also not a monarch. Hitler, also not a lot of people who are monarchist or people who just defend the monarchy because it just looks cool tend to use very common talking points to defend the institution of the British monarchy, which I will address in this section. Some of the two very common talking points are: the crown instills a sense of unity and a shared history among the British people. And point number two, they bring in more tourism and more money, and it's more beneficial to keep them there as they don't have any real political power. Case number one, they give their citizens a sense of great cultural legacy and a sense of united British identity, except they don't. Do you really feel united by a bunch of incestuous, out-of-touch individuals who don't know anything about what it is like to be British, at least the common person? The statement itself is stupid in the sense that it implies that a British identity has to depend upon a family who, to be fair, don't have any real and actual political power, that it is simply a ceremonial role, they get a lot of exemption from the laws, and don't have to pay any inheritance tax that any other UK citizen has to. And also, does the whole British identity involve covering up Prince Andrew's very interesting relationship with the infamous child trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, which the late Queen Elizabeth knew very well? And did she kick him out? Did she disinherit him? Nope, she helped cover up this shit, okay? She knew this. She knew this and she covered this shit up. Just as an update, Prince Andrew was just arrested while I was writing this script, so that makes him the first person to actually get arrested because of the Epstein files, which is just great. Oh shit, wait, he just got out. Nothing is going to happen, he just got out. Also, why does every British politician or royal take these type of very specific photos inside their cars when something really bad is about to happen to them? What is this? Coming back to the statement also implies that other countries that do not have a monarchy don't have a sense of unity or shared identity, which is blatantly false. France is literally known for beheading their royals' heads off and protesting. I guess it's one of the perks that comes with French citizenship. You get a universal right to burn down things and protest. Speaking of shared history, what history are we actually talking about here? The royal family has historically gotten majority of its wealth through exploitation and very violent means. Let's do an exercise here, okay? Here is this famous portrait of Queen Elizabeth, the late Queen Elizabeth. Where does this shiny thing in the stuff come from? South Africa. It's the Cullinan diamond, it comes from South Africa. Where does this thing in her crown, the famous royal crown, come from? From India. It's Kohinoor, one of the most iconic jewels. And what about the queen herself? She's actually fucking German. At least a good part of her is fucking German. This brings me to perhaps the more problematic part of this whole talking point. There are a few but rising number of people on the right in British politics, the traditionalists, who see the monarchy as relevant because it is a reminder of the big glory days of the British Empire, colonizing a quarter of the world, bringing in riches back when the UK was the most relevant country on earth and a civilizing force. Okay, men in Victorian suits drinking tea and women afraid to show their ankles and things like that. The UK has obviously changed quite a bit because of big scary immigration, neoliberal policies started by this witch, and the biggest, the decline of the British Empire, which makes some people quite uncomfortable, so they latch on to any relevant traditional institute to give them some sort of a past identity, even if the institution sees them as plebs or commoners to rule over with the will from God. So that makes me give them the appropriate title of cucks for the monarchy. Just a quick plug, if you happen to like this video so far, then please do consider like and subscribing, as it really helps out the channel. Thank you. Case number 2. The monarchy brings in more tourism and money to the country. Okay, this is by far the most stupidest things used to defend the monarchy with that I have heard, okay? Do you really think people will stop coming to Buckingham once the monarchy is abolished? Seriously, I don't think people stop visiting Versailles once the French guillotine their king. And let me remind you, Paris receives more tourists than London in an annual basis. And France is not a monarchy. They do not have a monarchy, it is a republic. Also, I don't see Charles coming out from his fancy palace to meet with a bunch of commoners and Chinese tourists, okay? He's not going to personally meet and shake your hand, Susan. The monarchy serves no real purpose in tourism. It is stupid. The royal family is not going out and entertaining visitors, for God's sake. They're just cooped up inside their fancy playhouse doing God knows what. In fact, if the monarchy is abolished and the numerous royal properties are opened up to the public, it would in fact drive up tourism even more, because people can actually go inside now and they will actually spend more money, which can be spent on public services, right? I know, big scary socialism. I am surprised how anyone from the UK isn't even offended when someone uses this exact talking point. Here is our favorite King Charles delivering a message about the cost of living crisis while sitting on a fancy throne and wearing a crown, which is way more valuable than any of our lives.
The country move on from the recent cost of living challenges by prioritizing wealth creation for all communities.
One thing I want to talk about is that there are other monarchies in Europe, and I rarely see anything controversial coming out from it. Maybe because British people are in general very dramatic. Okay, maybe I'm downplaying about the controversial thing, okay? Monarchies, regardless of the nation, they suck, okay? Monarchies suck. But you have to admit that British culture and media relies on the English monarchy on an unhealthy level for its identity. You can see this in the case with the late Queen passing, and everyone was making such a big deal out of it. Obviously, she was an important figure. The fact is, this is not seen in any other European countries with monarchies in the same level as the UK. Also, on a side note, why are all the monarchists that I have interacted with, they all seem to come from Western countries? Okay, I have yet to meet with anyone from the global south who want a monarch to rule over them. And the reason probably lies in the fact that these countries were colonized and exploited by the same European countries back then, when the monarchy was much stronger than what it is today. So they actually, know what type of horrendous shit people are capable of with a huge fucking military and a huge fucking country. Do I think the British monarchy is finished because of this scandal? Not really. Nothing really is going to happen. The monarchy will probably become more irrelevant as the time goes on. They will probably take their riches and fly over to Dubai if their citizens do decide to overthrow them.
First things first, I want to give testament to the city of the future. There's only one city on the planet that has its priorities in order, which is the city we are currently indulging and enjoying, Dubai.
They'll be sipping tea just like usual and riding camels instead of horses in the desert. But I really do hope to see the end of the British monarchy, and what a day it will be. In the end, imprison Prince Andrew, abolish the monarchy, and please ban the royal gossip subreddit. God, you people are goddamn jobless. Thanks for making it to the end. I think this video hopefully won't be controversial as the last one, and if you don't know what video I'm talking about, it's right below in the description. I basically make fun of Americans and fight with them in the comment section. On a serious note, it was an interesting video to make, and I learned a lot interacting with you people. So like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.